Hello and welcome back to our craft channel. I'm Anna-Marie and I have been asked to do a demo on our product which is called Structurizer. Now this Structurizer product comes in two colors, white and black, and I will obviously be demoing that today for you, but I would like to show you a couple of examples first. This version of a tall forest tree is just one color, just the white color as you see, and nothing else, literally as it comes, very natural, very shabby. Okay. Now this example, it's also applied to an MDF, okay, in this case, obviously, this is a heart with the frame. And here there's a combination of different fabrics. There is obviously a tulle, there is a satin fabric, there is a rustic fabric, the hessian, and of course organza as well. But one other thing I also used for this particular project is a natural green moss. So if I show you close up, these parts here and a few other parts, this is the natural moss, which again, you could also structurize if you like. Now, to color this project, I have used Inca Golds, and also just to highlight and add a sparkle to it, I have used a crushed ice. Right, so that is that. Now, this particular example, a heart again, I have used satin and tulle, again, keeping it very natural, and then I just used a purple wax to highlight the edges. On top of porous materials that you could apply the Structurizer to, and the porous materials are card, obviously, MDF. You can also apply it to glass, right? Now the glass is a little bit trickier to do, so you need to find a product that is porous for you. And in this case, the product that actually you can use, because it's very pliable and obviously you can apply it onto any curves, is a masking tape. Right, so this is just, again, a couple of examples to show you. This is applied onto the jar, just a simple jam jar, and adding texture, and then colored of course with the Inca Golds. One example. The other example is this wine bottle candle holder now, which I've just used really lovely lace and just draped it down, decorated with flowers, and just really make your own. And again, the base of the bottle, the outside of the bottle, is covered with the masking tape. And now just a few more details about what you're using. Today I will be using just the hessian ribbon, which is burlap, and I'm just chopping those pieces up into like small pieces. You don't have to do that, but really it depends on the size of the project you're making anything and literally what you want to achieve. Now you could easily bring different fabrics onto this project. Like I said, it could be a lace, could be scraps of your ribbon that you're no longer using, or you don't like the color. You could use anything like that. This actually is the leftovers from my long pieces of burlap, and so I will be using that. And now, final thing, I will be upcycling my 3D heart. Okay, so this heart, obviously, I just thought, well, I no longer have a use for it, and I really like upcycling. I hope you like it too as well. So I will begin with taking this thing apart. Okay. So that's my heart taken apart. We are changing it. So for this purpose, for this project, I am using the white Structurizer, and all you have to do is to shake it really well. I am often asked whether I should pour the Structurizer inside the small container and things like that. Yes, you can, of course you can, but I kind of prefer to work in my hand. Okay, so I am applying this onto my hand and making it work with my hands. And as long as your fabric that you're working is wet through and through, you are good to go, good to stick it down. Now you can create different shapes, different folds, just to obviously create that dimension. So you just carry on. Adding more. Just always make sure that it's obviously wet through and through, and start shaping. So if you want your design to be more raised, you can just obviously bend the fabric backwards. Anything like that always looks more interesting. So now I have completed my project, and now it's also dry because I have left it overnight, and that's what you have to do. Okay, but just to recap, just very, very quickly, I have applied the Hessian rustic ribbon more in a sort of dimensional effect on this side, and this part I have left it a little bit sort of more flat, if you can see. Now all of that is entirely, of course, up to you. Okay, but now I am ready to proceed and decorating the effect. Right, before I do that, a couple of things I would like to show you. Number one, I will be using this bird, and I would like to just stamp something onto him. I've obviously painted him white, and I'm going to use one of our stamps, Angelic Friends. This is the lovely message from that set, and I am just going to use literally a word, friends and angels. Right, just like so, and just maybe a little bit, couple of words here and there just to add texture. Okay, just like so. And also I'm going to just frame the edges ever so slightly. Okay, just like so. Right, I'm going to leave it to dry. Now, one other thing I would like to show you is this lovely lanterns, which is an MDF lantern. However, what I did here was applying the 3D Schnee onto my lantern, which you know it's sticky. So when the 3D Schnee was obviously wet, I've applied the snowballs. Now I left it to dry, and it's important that you leave it to dry. And now that is dried, I am going to remove the balls from my lanterns. Now you will see why I'm doing this in a minute, because these little snowballs will give me the most amazing little texture on my lantern. And it's really, really interesting. And of course the snowballs are mini, so that's why we have this mini dots on our lanterns. Okay, I hope you can see it. Okay, right, so that's another thing done. Right, now I am going to also use the flowers that I actually removed from my project, and I'm simply upcycling everything. Okay, so all those little pink flowers, I'm just going to remove. I may not use all of them, but we're definitely going to reuse some of them. Okay. Just a few for now. Right. And the next thing I'm going to do is paint my structured Hessian ribbon with a little bit of a gesso. Now, this obviously is just adding that light to the surface of my project. And you only need tiny bit. Now, if I wanted to paint this solid white, then of course you're really going to paint this solidly, and you're just going inside all those grooves and bits and pieces just to cover that solidly. But I don't actually want to do that. I just literally want to just apply a little bit of just a touch of the white. So I am making sure my brush is not overloaded with the paint, and just literally touching it ever so slightly. Okay. I hope you can see that it does make a difference, and it's just ever so settled. Now, at the same time, I really would like to just bring a little bit of a pink color. Again, just a tiny, tiny amount. So if you watched my previous videos on how to make Inca Gold misters, you can see how I obviously made these. But I am just going to spray just ever so slightly. Okay. And at the same time, I am going to add a little bit green. So the same process, just tiny bit. Okay. That's fine. Now, obviously the color sits on top of it, but some of it obviously has gone inside those grooves and parts like that. So I am going to just apply extra coat of my gesso just on top of it, touching it. So my green and pink is a little bit more muted now. So now I will begin decorating my heart. So I'm just going to stick my lantern onto the heart first, with a bit of a pinfleck glue, just in a couple of places. Okay, that should be fine. Just like so. Now, I've got this lovely branch here, but I would like it to create a little bit of a snowy effect. So again, I'm using a modeling paste, and I'm just literally going to apply in a couple of places on my branch. Okay, just like so. Just in a couple of places. And obviously the modeling paste is sticky. So one more time, that enables me to use my crushed ice to sprinkle onto my modeling paste. There you go. And that will stick to it. So again, crushed ice, a little bit contaminated with snowballs. And that's absolutely fine. Okay. And now I will just stick my branch onto the heart. Okay, so I'm just going to position it roughly how is it going to go, just there. And I'm going to apply pinfleck glue, nice generous blob of pinfleck here. You might think that is perhaps going to show and maybe it's too much. However, I will be decorating with a few more items. Okay, there you go. In fact, I'm going to move it just ever so slightly higher. Okay, that's great. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of a pin flare onto my lantern as well. Okay, so my bird is going to come somewhere here, and I also would like to create a little bit of a bird nest. Okay, for me to create a bird nest, okay, I'm using a natural fibre one more time, and just simply rolling that over my 2 fingers. And just moulding it with your hands, just like so. And my bird is just going to sit there just like that. So, pin flare glue one more time. And I'm just going to stick a little bit here. And now I'm going to stick my bird onto it, just like so. Okay, that's lovely. There you go. It will obviously sit there very nicely. And now I'm going to apply a couple of pieces of moss, that is the olive green moss, a little bit here and a little bit there. I've got a couple of beautiful pine cones, and again I'm just going to pop one here, and I'm going to use this one just here. And now I'm going to stick a couple of flowers. There you go. I'm also going to use the dried flowers. And now I would just go for a couple of stamens. So I think I'm done with my embellishments here, but one thing I would like to slightly change is the shade of my pink flowers. Because I'd like to have a really, really delicate look, I am going to apply a little bit of a shade to them. So one more time, just spread a little bit of a gesso and just touch your flowers just ever so slightly. Of course, you could do that sometimes prior to decorating your projects. However, it is possible, as you can see, to do that afterwards as well. So maybe a little bit white shade to my pine cones. Just smudge my lantern with extra white. Just maybe white on the edges. And I am almost done. The only thing I would apply now, very, very quickly, it's again crushed ice and snowballs, as my gesso is wet and a few other bits and pieces may be still drying. And we are done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this demo again. I hope you enjoyed obviously watching the Structurizer being used with the fabric and creating your own backgrounds and really making the foundation for many more other products that you can possibly create. But this, as I said, is an upcycled project. So if you go back to the beginning of the video and you've seen the actual heart, 3D heart that I took apart and created this one, you can see the difference that you can make. Well, thank you one more time. I hope you will tune in to our next video and I see you next time. Bye bye.